Sarah thought the next raise would change everything. She wasn't struggling. She had a stable job, a growing career, and a respectable income. But every few months, she caught herself saying the same thing. If I could just earn a little more, life would finally feel comfortable. Then the raise came. For a few weeks, everything felt different. She upgraded her apartment, started ordering takeout more often, bought the phone she'd been eyeing for months, booked a holiday she'd always wanted, and then, almost without noticing, the feeling disappeared, the excitement faded, the bills stayed, and she was back where she started, convinced that the next raise would finally make the difference. Sound familiar? Because many of us aren't chasing money. We're chasing a feeling, the feeling that one more achievement, one more purchase, or one more promotion will finally make us feel secure. But that feeling has an extraordinary habit of slipping through our fingers. Imagine climbing a mountain where the summit moves every time we get close. That's what happens when we allow our expectations to grow faster than our gratitude. Yesterday's dream becomes today's normal. Today's normal becomes tomorrow's disappointment. And before long, we're running harder than ever without feeling any richer. This doesn't happen because we're weak. It happens because our minds adapt. The human brain is remarkably good at turning extraordinary experiences into ordinary ones. The first luxury purchase feels unforgettable. The second feels expected. The third barely registers. Without realizing it, we become accustomed to things we once prayed for. Then, comparison quietly enters the picture. We scroll through photos of vacations we'll never see the credit card bill for, homes we don't know the mortgage on, businesses we don't know the struggles behind. Success arrives in polished snapshots. Reality arrives in private. The result? Our expectations rise, our contentment falls, and our spending often tries to close the emotional gap. But there is another way. Let's go back to Sarah. Instead of chasing another raise, she started asking different questions. Not how can I make more, but what already brings meaning to my life. She noticed that her happiest moments rarely came from expensive purchases. They came from dinners with family, long walks, learning new skills, helping friends, building something meaningful. The surprising part, as her need to impress others declined, so did many of her unnecessary expenses. She didn't become less ambitious, she became more intentional. And that's a powerful distinction. Contentment is not the enemy of ambition, it's the foundation for wise ambition. When we're content, we make decisions from clarity instead of insecurity. We buy because something adds value, not because we're trying to fill a void. We pursue success because it aligns with our purpose, not because we're trying to prove our worth. The happiest financially secure people often have one thing in common. They've learned that enough is not a number, it's a decision. They understand that every upgrade comes with a hidden cost. Every recurring payment reduces future flexibility. Every unnecessary expense quietly competes with future freedom. And because they know this, they spend differently. 3, not fearfully. Thoughtfully, they know money is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. So before chasing the next raise, perhaps we should ask ourselves a different question. If our income doubled tomorrow, would we actually feel different a year from now? Or would our expectations simply rise to meet it? The answer to that question might explain more about our financial future than the size of our paycheck ever could, because the goal isn't to avoid success. The goal is to avoid becoming trapped by success. Real wealth isn't just measured by what we own, it's measured by how little we need to feel whole, and that may be one of the most valuable financial lessons we'll ever learn. Next time we open our banking app, let's not just ask how much money is there. Let's ask whether our decisions are taking us closer to freedom or simply funding a lifestyle that can never satisfy us. Because the life we're building isn't measured by the things we accumulate, it's measured by the choices those things allow us to make. And in our next conversation, we'll uncover something even more surprising: the tiny money habits that quietly shape our future without us ever noticing. Until then, let's keep asking better questions, making wiser decisions, and building a future we'll be proud to leave behind. This is the Rizq Project, and we're just getting started.